Good evening and welcome to the 2022 Division I Men's Tennis Selection Show. I'm your host, Will Haskett. The road to Champaign begins tonight for some of the best programs in the country, and matchups this coming weekend will be crucial in figuring out what that championship path looks like for the team that's left standing at the end. 30 schools earned their way into this bracket by virtue of winning their conference championships, while the NCAA committee had to use a number of different criteria to select the remaining 34 at-large berths. You can follow all the action throughout this upcoming tournament on the Tennis One app, with the action beginning this Friday, all the way through the championship, which will be contested on May the 22nd. But you need a bracket to be able to track it all, so get your pencils ready, because here we go. All 64 teams coming your way right now, and we start with the top overall seed. That this year belongs to TCU, the Horned Frogs, seeking their first national championship, and will do so with the target squarely on their back as the top team heading into this tournament, according to the committee. They come on into this tournament fresh off a Big 12 loss, however, to Baylor, who just happened to bounce TCU last year in the national quarterfinals. Luke Fomba did get a nice win at number 1 singles in that Big 12 match, as he combines with Jacob Fernley to be the number 2 ranked doubles tandem in the nation entering last week. The top of the lineup may hold the key to TCU making a deep run in this tournament. This is a roster almost completely made up of underclassmen, so there's energy and a buzz in the program that earns the top overall seed in this championship. And they will test themselves with the Summit League champion Drake, their opponent in round number 1. Utah heading to Texas as well for a 15th appearance, fresh off a second 20-win season in program history, to face Ole Miss in the opener, featuring Nikola Slavic, one of the top players in the SEC this season. Hosting duties for NC State, the Wolfpack, into the tournament for an 11th appearance in program history. They're coming off a loss in the ACC quarterfinals that maybe took them off of a seed line, but the body of work kept them close enough to the top 16 to be one of those honored with being a host for a first and second round matchup coming up this weekend. And the Pack will lead off with Liberty in the opener, automatic qualifier out of the Atlantic Sun. Another champion heading to NC State, UNC Wilmington, capturing the automatic bid from the Colonial. Congratulations to UNCW. They're a date with the 16 seed at NC State, Middle Tennessee getting the seed, a well-earned seed here off of a 27-4 season this year. That's the most wins and the best record in program history. They just completed a three-peat in the Conference USA Championship, and the resume features 10 wins against ITA-ranked opponents this year, 8 wins against Power 5 schools, and 13 straight wins in conference. The season included a win at the prestigious 74th Annual Blue-Gray National Tennis Classic in Montgomery. All 3 of the wins in that field came against top 50 teams. Depth, and more depth, with all 6 starters ranked this season, and each of them at one point in time earning Conference USA Athlete of the Week honors this year. To another seeded team, and a host in this case, it belongs to Wake Forest. The Deacs had won 9 straight and 17 of 18 before being upset by Georgia Tech to start the ACC championship. The 2018 national champions certainly will use that as motivation for a run that they are capable of making in this championship. It also helps to start at home, where the Wake Forest Tennis Center is not only one of the best facilities in the country, it's provided the home court advantage this season for a Wake team that is a perfect 24-0 on the home hard courts. That home court record tested by Radford in the opening round. 7th appearance for the Big South champions. Early celebration perhaps for an at-large given to Texas Tech, the Red Raiders heading east for their 18th NCAA berth, where they will meet Auburn in the opener, yet another SEC team to survive one of the hardest schedules in the nation. To the Big Ten and an at-large berth for Northwestern, a 17th trip to the tournament for the Wildcats, and a date on the court with East Tennessee State, the champions of the Southern Conference. DePaul captured the Big East title and returns to the field again after making its first appearance just a season ago. And they will travel south to the host of all 3 of these teams. Rounding out this first page, it's 8th-seeded Kentucky. 29th tournament appearance for the Wildcats, with maybe one of their best rosters to make a championship run. It was nearly a run to an SEC title last weekend, falling to Florida in the championship. The Wildcats have strength at the very top of the lineup, where Liam Draxel has been top 10 ranked in singles this year, followed closely by Gabriel Diallo in the top 20. Those 2 can't do it alone, but could hold the key points to a Wildcat push toward Champaign. All right, sliding over the bottom half, the right side, or should say left side of the bracket. 5th seed belonging to Michigan here. It might not be a happier bunch right now to unveil in this show, with the Wolverines coming fresh off their first ever Big Ten tournament title. They did it over top-seeded and no-love-lost rival Ohio State. Michigan had lost the doubles point for only the 4th time all season, but one of those was to the Buckeyes in the title showdown. So the show of the resilience in the Big Ten championship. They got 4 points despite the doubles loss. They were so impressive in the singles, and gritty comebacks showed the fight of this team, including tournament MVP Andres Styler. He was on court one and came all the way back to get one of those pivotal points in the Big Ten winner. And it'll be a familiar foe in the opening round as Western Michigan comes to town. The champs of the MAC bet the Wolverines back on January 21st. Did notch a point in that one and would love to find 3 more when they meet in the first round. Big 12 flavor in Big 10 country with a happy bunch of Sooners now. Oklahoma in the field and headed to Ann Arbor for the first round, where they will meet Louisville in the first round, fresh off reaching the semifinals of the ACC Men's Tennis Championship for the first time since joining the league back in 2015. Louisville's 19 wins mark the most for the program since 2017, and 9 wins in ACC play, the most for Louisville since the program joined the conference back in the 2014 and 15 season. All right, welcome back to the tournament. SMU, the American Athletic Champions, were runner-ups all the way back in this national tournament in 1983. They get back to the tournament for the first time since 2017, and the Mustangs battle a team maybe sweating the most coming into this show, but you can rest easy. LSU, yes, the Tigers, back in the field for a 32nd time and earn an at-large berth to return for the first time in 6 years. That is a happy bunch in Baton Rouge. The Big Sky champions from Idaho will join these two, and they're all traveling to Austin, where 12th-seeded Texas will play host. The 2019 national champions may not have the same pedigree as 3 years ago, but you can't say they aren't tested. The Longhorns put up a strong fight in the Big 12 semifinals, ultimately following to Baylor, but the team did land 4 players in the all-tournament team, each of whom is a freshman or a sophomore. That gives head coach Bruce Burke a maturing group of players set to shock maybe a few teams as this tournament goes deeper. From the 12 seed to the 13 seed, we say hello to Southern Cal, another host. USC coming off its 3rd straight Pac-12 tournament championship, earning the program's 15th consecutive NCAA tournament appearance. Junior Stefan Dostanic has won 17 straight singles matches and has 35 total singles wins this season, the most by a Trojan in a singles season since all the way back in 2016-17. Coached by Brett Macy, who's in his 3rd season as head coach and trying to return the men of Troy to glory. 21 national championships or more than any other program in the nation. And they open with the champions of the Mountain West as Nevada punched its ticket with that title. First-timers in the NCAA tournament, the Pack, who had 2 players named the All-Mountain West team for singles, earned the school's first conference championship since 1982. Another thrilling winner stays close to home. UC Irvine making the short trip to USC. What an incredible run it was to the Big West title, knocking out the top 2 seeds in the semifinals and the finals. UCI's 17 overall wins are the most since 2016. That squad went 17-9. It's their first NCAA trip in over a decade for the Anteaters, and they will face another Southern California champion in San Diego. Make it 7 straight WCC titles for the Toreros, who got it done over Pepperdine to keep the streak alive. It earns the program's 16th NCAA tournament berth, with August Holmgren atop the lineup and 5th in the country in singles. San Diego has 10 wins over ranked opponents so far this season. All right, 4 to go in this half of the bracket. It starts with Columbia, an at-large, and a chance for top 20 singles player Alex Kotzen to showcase his skills in the first round against Notre Dame, 28th trip to the tournament for the Irish. History made for Youngstown State, which won its first Horizon League tournament title and the automatic qualifier that came with it. Congratulations to the Penguins, who make a quick drive to Ohio State for the opening round. A lot to like about the Buckeyes squad as it pursues its first ever national championship. First, you have the depth of talent at the top of the roster, headlined by the country's best doubles duo. Robert Cash partners with Matej Vossel. From there, Ohio State features 3 singles players ranked in the top 25 in the nation, including Cannon Kingsley. Secondly, for this team will be the motivation. We talked about it earlier, that loss against Michigan in the Big Ten championship, where the aforementioned top doubles and singles players all lost. So everybody coming into this NCAA tournament ready for a bit of redemption. First round against Youngstown State and onward from there for the Buckeyes. All right, we are halfway home and unveiling all 64 teams trying to make that championship run. We'll step aside for just a quick break. We'll be right back to finish the bracket after this.
There's an energy swelling out beyond the limits of your expectations. A universe where fandom reigns supreme. Once you're in it, it changes you. Instead of one of one, you're one of many. A blissful sea of chaos. Go beyond your limits and enter the NCAA Universe. Get your seats today at ncaa.com/tickets.
Welcome back to the Division I Men's Tennis Selection Show. TCU already announced as our top seed, but we know any team can get hot at the right moments and make a run to a title. As we dive back into the bracket, a team that is as hot as it gets is waiting right now on the 3 seed line for us, and that would be the Baylor Bears. The 2004 national champions came so close to winning title number 2 a year ago. They fell in the final to Florida, but back is Adrian Boitan with some unfinished business of his own. He was forced to retire in his semifinal match on the individual side, chasing a singles title a season ago. He's been a top 5 singles player in the country this season. Fresh off a 3rd straight Big 12 title, the Bears have won 7 straight entering this NCAA tournament. The WAC champions from Abilene Christian will have the first crack at the Bears in the tournament as they head to Waco along with Tulsa, which returns to the field for the first time since 2016 for the program's 18th NCAA tournament appearance. And that's a lot of experience when you pair them up against Texas A&M in the opener. The Aggies returning for a 26th straight tournament. That is a loaded group of talented teams heading to Baylor. Another perennial power checks in next. Stanford back for a 42nd time. The 15-time national champions fell off the seed lines with some losses down the stretch, but have the pedigree and talent, including Arthur Ferry, who's been near the top 10 in the singles rankings all season. Another SEC squad gets their crack at the Cardinal with Mississippi State earning an at-large nod. Congratulations to the Bulldogs on making the field. An impressive record carried Monmouth to the MAC championship in a 6th tournament berth, heading up the coast to 14th seeded Harvard. No program has produced more singles champions, but all of them came before the team tournament was established, so the Crimson would love a first modern team title to add to the storied program's history. The Ivy League champions just swept Yale for the title and a 31st conference crown. The Crimson are undefeated at home this season and have 2 consecutive sweeps entering the NCAA tournament. To another seed line and host, it's the 11th seed. It belongs to Georgia here in 2022. The 6-time national champions dominated the late 90s and 2000s. They would love to reestablish their place atop this sport. The Bulldogs have the experience to not be rattled this postseason. Hamish Stewart is top 15 in the country in singles and earned all SEC honors alongside senior Philip Henning and graduate Tristan McCormick. There's more than a dozen years of college tennis experience between those 3 in the Georgia lineup. And that is experience that will be used to battle the SWAC champion in the first round, Alabama State. Welcome to the tournament and congratulations on that conference title. Georgia State, another conference winner. They won the Sun Belt, returning to the tournament for the first time since 2017 to face a young Florida State team looking to make a run. The Seminoles frequently with 4 freshmen in the lineup this season, so youth on display in this one. Staying in the ACC as Duke makes its 29th NCAA appearance to face the Memphis Tigers, making its first tournament appearance 10 years ago this season. They've only missed the field twice in that decade run. Staying in state as Tennessee Tech took down top-seeded Belmont to win another Ohio Valley title, and the Golden Eagles are gathered today to see a 9th selection. And the party will continue as they won't have to leave the state with 6-seeded Tennessee as the host of this group. Tennessee owning 9 top 25 triumphs this dual season, including 3 top 10 victories and a 6-1 mark against teams ranked numbers 11 through 25. The Vols have taken care of business when they need to this year. They enter the NCAA tournament having been ranked inside the ITA top 5 for a nation-leading 28 weeks in a row. Johannes Munday and Mark Wallner continue to find a way at number 3 doubles this year, holding a 12-1 record together this dual season. And the doubles point is almost always assured for this squad because you have the reigning NCAA doubles national champions and Adam Walton and Pat Harper finishing the regular season with a perfect 9-0 doubles record in SEC play. Always that doubles point so important as we go to the final quadrant of the bracket and unveil another team receiving a seed and hosting duties this year. That's Virginia on the 7 line. It's been 5 years since Virginia rattled off 4 national titles in a 5-year span, but could they be building back to another run of a similar nature? The Cavaliers just won the ACC regular season and ACC tournament titles for a 2nd straight year. It was their 14th ACC tournament title, and they're led by 3 sophomores playing on the top 3 courts. Chris Rodish, Iñaki Montes, and Jeffrey von der Schulenberg. Von der Schulenberg comes into the tournament having won his last 12 completed singles matches. His last loss was all the way back on February the 6th. That's 3 months ago. While Montes was the clinching match in the Cavs' 4-3 victory against North Carolina in the ACC championship match. He won that 7-3 in a tiebreaker. Ryan Getz was named the ACC tournament MVP, and he's on a 10-match win streak in singles for this squad that's playing its best tennis perhaps at the right time this year. Congratulations to the Northeast champion Fairleigh Dickinson, which heads to Charlottesville for the first-round matchup there with the Cavaliers. Another nervous wait perhaps comes to an end right now. We get to say hello to Penn here tonight. The Quakers set a program record for wins this season and even got a late-season resume-boosting victory over Columbia to perhaps lock up this spot as an at-large selection into the tournament. And that momentum will be tested by VCU in the opening round, the A-10 champions returning for a 23rd time. Sliding down next, we find Pepperdine, which has earned 6 ranked victories this season, including 2 top 10 wins. 4 singles players were ranked by the ITA, led by number 23 Daniel DeYoung. The battle in the first round is with Washington. For Pepperdine, the Huskies earning an at-large selection for another Pac-12 squad. Spoiler alert, but those two are coming east, where MEAC champion South Carolina State will be battling our host in the first round for this group. That is 10th seeded South Carolina, 21-5 in the regular season record. It's the best win percentage for the program since all the way back in 1985. 15-0 on their home court this year, first perfect home season since 1986, and a 10-2 SEC record is best in program history, with the only losses on the road at number 5 Florida and number 8 Georgia. But they can play on the road as well, because it included a road win at then number 1 Tennessee earlier this season. That was the first in program history to go on the road and beat a number 1 ranked team. And if you're sensing a theme, you are correct. This is a team rewriting its own history book, and the 25th NCAA tournament may be a memorable one coming up for the Gamecocks. All right, a seed and hosting duties for North Carolina. 28th tournament appearance for the Tar Heels, which came so close to an ACC title. We mentioned that battle with Virginia just a moment ago. They pushed the Cavaliers to the brink in a 4-3 loss that came down to a final tiebreak in the final singles match. That performance, even a losing effort, was strong enough to secure a home date this weekend, but more importantly, show that this team has the goods to push the best in the country. The 2017 national runner-ups also lost that one to Virginia. They can sense the ability to make that type of run again here in 2022. North Carolina opens with Navy, who captured the Patriot League this year and the automatic qualifier that comes with it. And another Ivy League team comes off the board as Princeton makes the tournament, returning for the first time since 2015, where they will serve it up against Arizona in the opener. This berth marks the first time in program history with 3 straight tournament appearances for Arizona. 4 teams to go. We start with Miami, the Canes, making its 28th tournament trip. That's a lot of experience to face South Florida, also a tournament veteran. 14th tournament trip for South Florida. We say congratulations to the other end of the spectrum, the Privateers of New Orleans. They won the Southland Conference title and the automatic qualifier, making their first ever tournament trip. Congratulations to them on that miraculous run, and it continues at 2-seeded Florida, the reigning champions, rounding out our bracket, fresh off an SEC regular season and tournament championship. That's 3 straight regular season titles, all with undefeated 12-0 records. That is a first in SEC history. Ben Shelton named the SEC Tournament MVP and is currently ranked as the top singles player in the country and riding an 18-match win streak. But there is so much more experience on the roster behind him. You got Andy Andrade, who broke the all-time singles record in February against Virginia, now holds the record with 133 career singles wins and counting. Andrade also is at 199 overall career wins and just needs 1 doubles or singles win to reach the 200-win milestone, which, by the way, he has a teammate who's already done that. That's Duarte Valle, who's in that 200-win club. The Gators have won the doubles point, by the way, in 18 straight matches. It will be a very tough out with Florida there coming in as the number 2 seed. All right, there you have it. All 64 teams still alive in pursuit of a national championship. We serve it up this Friday at our various local sites with first and second round action through the weekend. Super regionals follow the next weekend before the best of the best head to Champaign, Illinois to determine our champion. Remember, you can download the Tennis One app, which is the NCAA's official and exclusive streaming partner for all complete NCAA live match action. For in-depth analysis and discussion on what we just unveiled, make sure you head to the Tennis One app as well tonight for an interactive breakdown with the experts and guest coaches. That starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So now, will we have a new national champion when we finally serve it up on May the 22nd? We can only play the matches from now until then to find out. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Will Haskett. Congratulations and best of luck to all of the student athletes competing in this year's championship.
There's an energy swelling out beyond the limits of your expectations. A universe where fandom reigns supreme. Once you're in it, it changes you. Instead of one, you're one of many. A blissful sea of chaos. Go beyond your limits and enter the NCAA Universe. Get your seats today at ncaa.com/tickets.